By any chance, real quick, I don't know if it's one of you guys. I don't think it's with you. It could be with you. But who's the person that passed with like dementia or Alzheimer's?
Who's the one?
That passed. Is there some weird reference that we need to bring up here with him, as if like, say you had a completely different name for him, or you called him like a completely different name?
Yeah.
I'm getting chills. So here's the thing. He still wants to come through as Papa Placio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you shaking?
Yeah.
I got so sorry. No.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to I.E In Friends. My name is Saul V Gomez.
My name is Cesar.
My name is AJ Barrera.
And today we have a very special guest. Super excited to have this person on. If you guys know me, you guys know I'm all into the supernatural and the unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, the best of the best, AJ Barrera.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course,
Yeah.
man. This is super excited to have you. And like I said, you are one of the best in what you do, which is your psychic medium, right?
Yes,
and
correct.
Is there another title you have? With
Yeah,
that?
you know, psychic medium is the best thing because some people are spiritual mediums, some people are just psychics, and some other individuals are just spiritual mediums. So
Yeah.
they're all different levels of what we do. Yeah.
Cool. So I was thinking about when so there's the best, right? There's the best, but is it really, can there be people who have that ability more than others?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like we're all intuitive. We all have this ability, but we're not all like mediums. We don't all like see the dead and talk to the dead, but we all have like intuition. We all have these gut feelings and so on and so forth. So it's just like developing like anything else, like working out the brain, working out the muscles.
Yeah.
The more that you work with it, the stronger and better that your ability gets. Yeah.
I was going to say, is there any like special practices you do?
Not really. No, honestly, like, you know, I develop my abilities continuously with my readings. So anytime I do a reading for a person, I'm still learning new references and so on and so forth. So I never know everything about this work and I never will, but I call myself basically like an internal student of this work.
When did you first find out that you had this type of ability?
Oh my God. I would say probably in elementary, but really tapping into it and honing into it when I was in junior high school. I actually was reading tarot cards for people around junior high school and so on and so forth, and telling them what was going on, what I saw, what I felt, and this and that. And I always joke around saying, hey, I was like the popular kid and so on and so forth, which I was. You know what I mean? People were like, oh, he's weird, he's different, and this and that. But that's where I guess the more intuitive psychic abilities happen rather than the mediumship abilities.
Did it freak you out at first, or was it something that you just found very interesting, or was it how was that first reaction when you found something out?
I was fascinated with it. Still am to this day. So I used to watch Twilight Zone, you know, X-Files and all these different shows, and they used to have different psychics and mediums on television, such as like Sally Jesse Raphael, Jenny Jones, and so on and so forth. I don't know if you guys remember them. I know I'm older than you guys, but I don't know how much you know about those talk shows, but they would have people on there and they would do readings. And I was like, oh, what a crock of BS. There's no way people can do this and so on and so forth. So I kind of went on my own journey to recognize, like, is there a way to communicate with the dead? Is there a way to do it? So the more that I started practicing and understanding it, the more that I realized this is a natural thing. This is normal. And really did not know it was normal, was unnormal until high school itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's so I like to I 100% believe all that and everything. One thing that I do have questions about is because you travel all around the world, you do a bunch of readings, you do live events, but I see you also do Skype calls.
Yeah, Zoom.
Or Zooms.
Zoom, yeah.
Zooms. So how does that, like, how do you interact with like ghosts if they're like maybe like miles away?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is a great question, and I'm glad you asked this. So when I'm doing this work, it's about the individual. It's about the person's voice that I'm talking to, not really about the spirit in the home or so on and so forth. So if a person lives in, say, Australia, I can still connect them with their loved ones because I'm tapping into your voice, your vibration, not really the spirit, if that makes sense. Because we all vibrate a level. So say, for instance, that you vibrate, say, hypothetically, a 20 vibration and spirit vibrates at a 40 and then you vibrate at a 30, some energies will be stronger than the other. It just really depends on which energies will come through the loudest to get my attention. But the biggest misconception about doing this work is that you have to be in person to have a reading, and that's not the case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Yeah, that was the part where I was just my skeptic part of the side.
Yeah.
So I like to question everything.
You have to.
I've seen you. I seen you at Meet Too. when I used to work there, and
Right,
you did
yeah.
some readings that just freaked everybody out.
Oh yeah, he came and talked about it the next week. He was like, "You guys don't believe this."
It's like, guys, oh my god.
I don't think we did anything for like 2 hours, but hear him talk. He was just going. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Because the wild part was with Jesus Sepulveda, because he's a comedian,
He doesn't leave.
And then like you guys, because you're like, can I actually talk to you outside for a second?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's when everybody was like, whoa, whoa. And then like
Yeah.
Jesus, he's always so fun and jumping. And when he came back inside,
You calmed him
he
down.
was like eyes wide, pale. He's like, bro, how does he know that? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
I
she-
mean, yeah. And things, like, this was being filmed for, YouTube
Yeah,
and
yeah.
socials and this and that. And I don't want to ever expose anyone's dirty laundry out there or personal things that seem very personal. And I know from doing this for 22 years now that I know what I can say and what I can't say in front of an audience, because I know that sometimes people don't want that information out there. But
Yeah.
if spirit is bringing through information, I know there's a reason why I should say it, even if it's like in front of a crowd or not in front of a
Has
crowd.
that has that ever like turned out bad? Like where you tell someone something and they get super mad, or like I don't know, like a really bad reaction. Like I don't know how they would react, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's being upset. I think it's they are more shocked. So think of this as like in a private reading or in the audience events that I'm reading for someone, and I get pulled to someone and I'm saying, hey, congratulations on the baby that your loved one is saying, and blah, blah. And they're like, the husband or the boyfriend doesn't even know that their partner is pregnant. So there's times that I expose
wow,
things that I
okay.
shouldn't expose.
Uh-huh.
And so sometimes it's kind of like, oh my God, like, congratulations, honey, right in front of the whole crowd.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah.
You're
so-
never going to meet my girlfriend. Never.
yeah, there's obviously I'm not gonna say the name, a friend of ours, how we got connected here, and same thing with him. He goes like, hey, he asked me questions about his relationship, and I'm like, I don't know if I should really tell you anything. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
it's nothing bad. I just don't like to mix business with pleasure, if you will.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
With friendship, because
Yeah.
I don't even read for my own family. I don't even though like say, hey, do you know a medium and this and that? I said, well, I can refer you to these different people, but I just don't want to get involved in my family drama.
yeah, because they're
You know
gonna
what
be
I mean?
going to you all the time,
Right,
and
yeah.
stuff too,
And sometimes I know too much than what they even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, do they have to open that door for you, or do you just already know it? Like, you kind of just see it.
Yeah, most of the time I already know, but it's not that I'm choosing to open that door. Like I knew when both my sisters were pregnant without them even talking to me or without me even seeing them, and so on and so forth. And so, it's a more of a fluttering feeling in my stomach. And I'm like, oh God, someone's pregnant. So I joke around with people because people don't like to answer my phone calls because they're afraid I have bad news. So they wait for a text message. And then when they see the text message, they're like, okay, it's all good. He just wants to hang out or have a drink or but
Yeah.
it's all normal. But I think people are truly afraid of what's going to come out of my mouth. And it's not anything bad. It's usually more so like, hey, well, what are you up to? Really?
Yeah.
So when you're out and about, let's say you're at a public area restaurant, do you know, is it always just an on thing, or do you get to like decide just to ignore everything and you can just have a drink and have fun, or is it like you could just be reading people like nothing?
Right. So for me, I have the ability to turn it on and off. Most of us do. So think of it like for any of you guys that clock in and clock out for work, basically. There's a time, there's a frame for it, for doing that. So if you're always turned on, you're going to continue to burn that battery out. You know what I mean? So for other mediums, they will say that, hey, we can't turn it off, or I can't turn it off. But we do have control over it to, bring in spirit, turn off spirit, or to tune into energy, if you will,
Yeah.
even if it's a psychic energy. So because there is a difference between psychic energy, which is about an aura, a person, what they're going through, and then there's mediumship, which is connected with loved ones. So it just really depends, because sometimes even though that I'm turned off doing the work, there will be times that spirit will kind of like push their way through. And when I see that as something, I'm also very respectful of the process, because I don't know their grieving process. I don't know where they're at in life, but also it's part of being ethical with this work at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So is it more of a like a mental energy thing that you pick up, or can you also like see figures and see people?
it depends. So if I'm doing my privates, like private readings, I don't really see spirit around a person. It's more so like a color, an energy, an aura, if you will. That will help me identify like where they're at in their life, what they're going through, or either maybe perhaps past trauma. So it really depends. But when I'm doing like mediumship events, like say crowd of 500 people, even 100 people, small group, whatever it is, sometimes I will see spirit standing behind someone at my event, and I can describe like, hey, this is what they look like. This is the color of hair. This is what they wore, blah, blah. This is like their MO clothing. And people will turn around and look behind them like, who are you seeing? I go, like, I see them with my physical eyes. So I will see it either subjectively or objectively. So it's either
Yeah.
Wow.
as a movie, as a thought, as an image. It just really depends on how that comes through.
So then you just pick it up and interpret it.
Interpret it,
to
yeah.
the right
Well,
way.
you know, you got to think of it. It's like psychic sign language. You know, I'm interpreting
Mm-hmm.
information, so I know what these symbols mean to me. So anytime I see, say, I don't know, I'm going to use this as something I talked about recently, like someone having like a emphysema, pneumonia, or COVID. So anytime I see something like that, like a ventilator, it always represents that for me as COVID or something like that. And that became a new symbol because over the time I was reading for so many different people during that time frame that their loved ones passed of that. So when I understood that symbol, I'm like, oh my God, this is what it means. So symbols and things of that nature will always come through the same way. Same thing of someone passed away with a heart attack, I will feel pain in my chest. If there was a impact to the body, I will feel it that way. So spirit will help me understand what's coming through. You guys all look freaked out.
Okay.
Forgive me.
No,
no, I'm not-
we're
no, we're
trying to
trying-
understand it.
we're locked
I think
in,
we're trying
bro.
to
We're so locked
we're trying
in.
to
We're so
understand
locked in,
it.
Like,
it was got
You guys
quiet in
I'm
here.
like, I see all you guys. I'm like, you guys look really either
Nah,
intrigued or
quiet.
freaked out.
No, I'm cooking right now. I'm cooking. I got a question.
I was thinking and listening at the exact
I got a
same
great
time. It was
question.
like that.
You know, 'cause
Two
you-
hamsters were in my head at the same time.
So there's this book. It's called The Alchemist.
Exactly.
Oh,
you read it?
yeah. All right. So there's this book. Are you ready? Are you familiar with
I'm
Alchemist?
familiar with it. Yeah.
So in this book, it's all about picking picking up on signs and following your intuition, and it's leading you to the right places. So would you say that there are real life signs, like you said, you see symbols like in your mind that you think of, like if you see it in person, does that translate into something like psychic or like an intuitive thing? Like for example, if you see like an eagle, I don't know what an eagle would mean to you, but then like if you see an eagle where there wouldn't be an eagle, would that mean like would you connect those? Was there like a
Yeah,
connection
this
there?
is so funny that I even say an eagle. Kind of where I was going to go with this.
Tell you, bro, we're synced up right now.
So I have like, they call them like totem guides or spirit guides,
Yeah.
not like, or animal guides. And one of my totem guides, what they call with Native Americans, the totems, is a hawk. So anytime I get in any type of vehicle, I always see a hawk within like the first 2 minutes flying around. Doesn't matter where I'm located, what state, what city, there's a hawk flying around. When I see that, I know I'm safe, I'm protected, and this and that. When I don't see it, I freak out. I go, oh my God, there's no hawk, no hawk. No. And then I do see it along the road. But I do believe that either we're looking for them or is it coincidence? I think it's more so when things happen organically. That's when you can associate that as more so a sign. If you have to look for the answers or you have to look for something saying like, well, is that a sign? What does this really mean? You're questioning it. That's when your ego comes in and starts dissecting the information. So for you or any of you guys or anyone that's watching or listening is that if there is a certain sign or message that you associate with a loved one who's passed on, most likely that is that person that's connecting with you in that very moment, regardless if it's, if someone passed on a year ago or 20 years ago, they can still give you that message or that sign.
Cool. What about? Because
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when I see my grandma, when I'm just thinking about her, like I see a butterfly.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Those are the beautiful moments that you need to associate with of saying, okay, that's her. And I don't want you to tell me why you associate that because that becomes a personal experience that even a medium can never take away. It may come through a reading, it may not. The reason why I say that is that for anyone that goes seeks out a medium or sits with them, say for instance, like your reference, which you said, not me,
Right.
your sign is for your grandmother is a butterfly. What if you sat in front of a medium and that medium told you, hey, that sign is actually a squirrel? And you're like, then you'd be so pissed off because you thought like, oh my God, I thought this was the butterfly was my grandmother the whole time.
Yeah.
So the personal experience are for you that a medium can never take away. If it comes through in a reading, it comes through. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good
I
to
have
know.
I don't have like any.
A squirrel would be crazy. I don't even think I see squirrels ever.
They're so hard to see.
I'm like thinking, where have I seen a squirrel?
Why should there be a squirrel in the
Right, I know, that'd be crazy.
In the trees.
Yeah. So I don't think I have any past ones. Like I haven't really experienced a death like that in a long time. The only death I have experienced was my dog, and he was super close to me. And one thing, I don't know, his life is kind of, I don't want to say ironic, but it's ironic the things I've been noticing. So first one is just whenever I miss my dog, because I always associated my dog with little birds, like little tiny birds, because he's afraid of little tiny birds.
Okay.
Well, he was afraid, and he was a big dog. And then so I remember there's times even recently where I felt really sad, and there'll just be one single little bird just chilling there, and I was like, oh, I hope that's him. So I hope that's I'm associating that correctly.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to bring up, it's kind of me in a comedic mind and ironic mind. It's a little weird, but my dog, he actually hated that planter. You see where I'm going with this? And he would knock it over all the time.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Do you think he kind of foreshadowed it or something?
Yeah, I mean, if that's a perfect place that you feel like this is it, that's associated with him, that's probably that connection, a personal connection.
Yeah.
Now, if you have stuff that happens here, and I'm going to backtrack on something, in a property that I used to live at had hardwood floors. We didn't own the property. I was just renting it. And I would actually hear clicking, like click, 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 like the dog's nails.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I've heard
if you start hearing stuff like that, that's most likely your dog's way of letting you know that it's safe and it's still around you. So if you hear that in your house now, or you hear these clickings and things of that nature, animals come through. They come through all the time in readings. They do have a soul. They do have energy. So for you, there's probably that parallel connection. Why maybe that's there, or why that
It's
association is
close
there.
to you too.
Yeah,
It's like right here in this.
That's why we
area.
kept them by the door. For everybody listening, I have a plantain right below my dog's ashes, like in a box. So I always just thought it was ironic how he would always knock it over, and then that just ended up being his final resting space.
but that's part of the coincidence or synchronicity. I think it's part of that synchronicity
synchronicity.
moment. Like even when you were talking about your dog, even before you mentioned like a bird, the first thing I heard was by the Beatles, Blackbird Tonight. And so I feel like that perhaps if there is a specific blackbird for you, that might be the association.
There's a
with it.
black dog.
Okay, so it might be more
It's
of that.
cooking.
So it might be more of that association. Why? Yeah, it's cooking.
Like you're cooking, bro.
More of that association of how it comes through, because I feel like that when certain things happen, again, not even from the medium, but for you, because we need to recognize again those signs and signals rather than just really searching for them. When you let them happen organically, that's the best thing, because everyone's like, is that a sign? Is that a message? And this and that. Like, I don't look for them, and they don't happen to me that often, the signs and signals. But when I do receive them, I'm like, 100% no, it's for real. Yeah.
So it's just it's the feeling, like don't like it makes perfect sense, because if someone's looking for a sign, they're going to see it. But if you're just doing your thing randomly and then you see something and the first thing you thought of was that person, that's a good indication of that's what that was.
100%. And if you have to like analyze it, that's where the ego comes in, and you start dissecting everything. Like, yeah, you don't want to do that. Then you're kind of going through the rabbit hole of everyone, like who passed on, what's a message, what's association.
Yeah.
But when you have to think of that person, or you don't have to think about it, and it happens organically, most likely, again, it's their way coming through.
I don't know why my heart's pounding right now.
That's a Red Bull.
It could be the Red Bull. It could be the Red Bull. It could be that. But I'm not gonna, speech.
Dude, there's things start flickering and stuff.
The plant
No, not
falls.
that.
So-
If the plant falls, I'm leaving.
That does happen. I don't even know if it happened at me too when we're filming either. There's always mic issues, lighting issues everywhere I film. It's part of that process, because you got to think spirit pulls energy from other sources, from electricity and phones and this and that. So anytime I do film like any paranormal investigations and things of that nature, batteries are dead. We have new batteries or camera guys and so on and so forth. So again, energy's energy. The same way that, a person can be in Germany and I can be in California is the same way that I'm able to read for a person, is because it's energy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to check for the microphones, bro.
You know,
Don't worry.
I'm not even gonna lie.
I've
That
been
was
checking.
one of the
I've been
things I
checking.
had in mind.
I've been checking.
I was like, we gotta make sure, because the energy's crazy, bro. You haven't had any weird energy here in this house?
No, I'm not in the house.
This is
I
your
mean,
biggest fear every single time.
Because my old house used to be haunted.
Wait, no, you heard them. Not in the house, but where?
Here. I mean, just in general, like here with you guys.
Like great energy.
Good
Positive
energy. Yeah, like good energy.
Like
So
Johnny.
Yeah. Well, usually when I walk into a room, like I can feel when something's off. I don't know how to describe it.
Has that ever affected, not affected, but have you ever used that for like business deals or partnerships or collaborations?
No,
Not?
doesn't work that way.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't work that way.
I don't trust your vibe, bro.
Yeah,
I don't work with you. I was
Seeing a
But
little
don't-
sketch here. I don't know.
But don't get me wrong. There are times where certain, like, say, shows, TV shows or business, whatever it is, it's just a feeling that I go off of. But it's never like, it's always more so the warning rather than to sign something. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
don't move forward, don't do it. It's more of that gut feeling. Like we all have, like, I'm sure that most of you guys had a gut feeling about, oh my God, I shouldn't have bought this, or I shouldn't have taken this turn, I should have gone on this trip, or, but whatever that situation is, you have that gut feeling. Just like with me, it's the same thing. Like I just have certain feelings like not to do something. And when I do not listen to it, it backfires on me, which why now I listen to it all the time.
Okay.
So what do you do when you meet an ultimatum where you're like, you have either go this way, but one thing's gonna affect the other one. And how do you know which one's the right one, which one's the right path to choose?
Honestly, like for me, it's kind of like let go, let God.
Uh,
Whatever happens, happens, and that's the type of thing. Even though I may have a good feeling with both of them, or I may have a bad feeling with one of them, I go with the one that's taking me in the right direction.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know where it's taking me, it's more of a feeling. So just say for you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys party. You guys are much younger than me. So when you guys go out to parties and events and so on and so forth, say there's a table to the left and there's a table to the right. You don't know anyone at either one of these tables, but for some reason you feel pulled to say the right. And you're like, huh, what do I feel pull there? It's the vibrations and energy that you're picking up on.
The women. I mean,
Right.
the vibes.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I mean, I feel like you can kind of like let's say when you're talking to someone like more seriously.
I'm not a good wingman.
You can feel
That'd
better
be a good wingman. I was
good.
like, hey, my friend here, he has some special abilities. He says that the vibe is way better over here, so I'm coming over here.
He's our vibe director.
Right.
He's our vibe director. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I felt that when you said that at the tables, because when you enter a place, a building, a bar, wherever you sit dedicates your night. Like either you come this way. So yeah, I've gotten that vibe. So I was like, oh, I kind of want to go over here, and then night goes pretty good.
Right.
Is there any practices people can do to like practice their intuition?
Oh my God. I mean, there's so many different ways. I think one thing that people can do is one, ground, meditate, protect yourself. So when we think of meditation, we think of meditation of sitting on the floor and doing Om. That's not meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation could be, cleaning your backyard, doing lawnmower because your mind is a different state. It could be listening to music and, doing some artwork. That's a form of meditation. So it's not really what we kind of look at meditation, what it used to be. But I still meditate in the same way where I will close my eyes and connect and open up my chakras and ground and protect myself. And I do prayer in the whole 9 yards, and it takes you within a few minutes to do it. But other ways that people can do it is by reading everything they possibly can so they know what they need to know about like grounding, psychic work, and that type of stuff. Because there's so much to this work with out-of-body experiences and, entities. When we look at entities, not bad entities, but spirits. Yeah, just spirits in general, and like knowing what you're getting yourself into. Because a lot of people are saying like, if I do, like a lot of people sometimes fear having me on a show because they're afraid they're going to open up a door that they don't want opened. And that's not the case, because I'm not here to open up any doors. I'm just kind of opening up my connection with you guys. So if someone comes into a show or a producer or someone, whatever, and they're not really into the work, it may happen more so for them rather than for anyone else that's a believer, because they're not really looking for it. You know what I mean? So for us, we just have to be open and receptive to everything around us. But more importantly, I think it's more so how we handle ourselves in events like this. So do we freak out? Do we get nervous? And so on and so forth.
Right.
That's the main thing. So really just recognize yourself, trust yourself, trust what you're feeling, and don't read into anything, and don't go down those rabbit holes of researching everything. Because I think it's about, if you're researching for, again, the message or the sign, you need to let it happen organically. That, again.
So it's really just like how you said, let go, let God, just boom, just be
Right.
vulnerable with your
Sit
emotions
back.
and feelings and just
Well,
living it up.
Yeah, because a lot of people call this a gift. I've been saying it for many, many years. It's an ability. It's something that we all can develop. It's something we can all do. So we all can develop intuition. Again, we all can develop the abilities. It's just how much you put into it and how much effort and how much exercises and practices and so on and so forth, which is many. But mediumship, it's also an ability that can be developed as well, about connecting with loved ones. We may not all be like the best singer, but we can learn how to develop singing. Same thing. We all are not like pianists, but we can learn how to play the piano. It's the same thing. We all can learn how to do this. It's just how we do it.
One thing that scares me though, because I mean, I've heard, well, from movies, but like it's like there's like, for example, let's just say demons. They're tricksters, right? They'll pretend to be like a family member just so you can open that door and they come in. What are your do you have any experiences on that, or what are your thoughts on that?
I've never had any negative experience with connecting an individual with a loved one. I have had maybe one really, I won't say bad experience, but one experience where I was doing an investigation where I was provoking. I was asking spirit, come scratch me, come do this, come do that, and
You
blah,
stand
blah.
on business.
Yeah, so I was really provoking and saying like, yeah, come do this. And I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen, because even though I've been doing this work, I never had anything bad happen to me. And this was when I was maybe, oh my God, in my 30s, in my early 30s. And we were actually filming this for my TV show back then, So when that moment happened, it was kind of like, okay, the producers, I thought it was like, I always wear my cross, my chain on me. Always been wearing it for years, even during production. So I thought my chain got stuck like on the back of my hair or something. I'm like, oh, I felt something. There was a camera guy behind me and then another producer behind me. And they were like, they saw these welts just appearing on the back of my neck. And there's 3 scratches on the back all the way down that broke my skin. And I was bleeding. Had no idea what it looked like, but everyone's freaking out. They shut down production, all the producers and everything else, and said like, "We got to get out of here." This and that. Yeah,
smart.
Yeah. So that was and that was at Linda Vista Hospital. Some of you guys might.
Ooh,
Yeah, I don't know if
I've
you guys
been
are
there.
Boyle Heights.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Now it's a convalescent home or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some old energy there for
You know,
sure.
you know what's funny? That happened to my friend. I didn't go. I decided not to. I was like, I'm not going, bro. But Luis Zuniga,
Oh yeah.
they went and because this was
was
like
yelling at him.
this was like during the whole BuzzFeed Unsolved thing. So like when it was really popping, so everybody was trying to get into like go to all these abandoned
hunting.
places, ghost hunting.
Right.
So 2 of my friends decided to go to the hospital, and my friend Luis, he biggest skeptic, and when he started cussing. He was like just saying a bunch of shit, right? And he ended up screaming because he felt like someone scratched him.
Yeah.
And they took a picture, and the next day I saw him like, he had like 3 scratches on his back.
Yeah, you don't ever want to provoke in events like that ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, even with investigations that I do, I will ask to do something, but not in a way that's going to provoke them. So with all the paranormal equipment that I have, I would say, hypothetically, if I brought it today, I would have it set up here, and I would ask a question, and it comes back out with an intelligent response by saying, "Hey, make this device turn a certain color, or do this, or do that," and all of a sudden it responds back to changing to that color. Then we know there's an intelligent response coming back, rather than say a cell phone setting it off, we're setting it off. And I think in some ways you might actually find, it has happened with certain podcasts and interviews that I've done where there's a disembodied voice where they go back and listen to the audio, they're editing it, and they actually hear a woman speaking, or they hear a child and this and that. So when things like that happen, that's nothing to do with me. It could be somehow related to the staff, the crew, and so on and so forth. But I think it's just, if you respect the process and respect them, it's going to happen in the right way. Meaning that they're not going to harm you. They're not going to do anything. And if it comes from a place of love, light, and God, which I believe in God, I know I'm protected and grounded in that. Yeah.
So you never had instances where you're scared, or have you?
Just that one time.
Just that one time?
Just that one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Just that one time. But there are experiences that I will get more shocked by the validation because of how intelligent those responses are. There was one time where I think it's called the Highland. You guys might be familiar with it. Highland Garden, I think, hotel, where Janis Joplin used to own a place. Rent there. You guys know who Janis Joplin is, right? Oh no, I'm that old. I'm that old.
I've heard of the name.
I know Chaplin. What's the other Chaplin guy?
No, that's Charlie.
Charlie
He's saying
He's
saying Janis Joplin, not Chaplin.
Janis Joplin. Yeah,
I've heard of the name. I just don't remember what she does or who she is.
She's a musician. Was a musician, and people still honor her legacy. So they're at her place. Oh my God, I feel old. Forgive me.
I've heard of the name though. I've heard of the name for sure.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, bro.
So look it up.
Look at him on the laptop.
Charlie Chaplin. So there's a place in LA, Hollywood area where they have this room dedicated to her, and people will still go investigate it. When I went to go investigate it, I did not know what the place looked like, but they had a whole area, the closet, the bathrooms, all like dedications and drawings and this and that. And during the investigation, which is a small room, I mean, it's not really anything big. It was like her apartment, which is now they rented out the place. And we're just doing EVPs, and EVPs are, stand for electronic voice phenomenon, where you capture spirit through the white noise. So you ask a question, you may not hear it with the naked ear. You play back that audio, you capture the voice. So went home, we didn't get really any smart, intelligent responses. And I'm going through the audio, and I hear this voice, woman's voice, that sounded exactly like Janis Joplin. What? And so I still have it to this day, and it's kind of like a little creepy because you can hear that raspiness in her voice. So if you hear her music, or go back or maybe after this pod and listen to it, you hear that raspiness, that's what I captured.
Dang.
Yeah.
I heard when you I don't know if like when you communicate with ghosts, are they ghosts who still haven't passed on, or can you still communicate to ghosts who've already passed on and they're chilling in heaven?
Yeah, so I think there's also a misconception with ghosts and spirits and energies and so on and so forth. So I kind of, spirits are our loved ones. They have the ability to come and go whenever they want. Ghosts are individuals that are kind of replaying something. Like there was something very tragic that happened at the event. It's an imprint. It's an imprint. It's residual energy, which is why sometimes like certain places are quote unquote haunted. It's either the last memory that they remember. But they're not stuck and it replays. Gotcha. So, or two, they died in a traumatic way. But when we think of our spirits, our loved ones, they're not stuck. They're not in limbo. They're not in hell. They're not in this place. They coexist with us, basically. Yeah.
It's so interesting when you say like it replays, because then it goes to like, my mind goes to like science.
Yeah.
Right. So like different dimensions.
Yeah.
So like if it's replaying in our world, but it's in a different, it's weird, right? Like you're in a different dimension in a way where that just keeps replaying and replaying.
Yeah, just kind of think of it
so
like
weird.
What's the movie again?
Interstellar.
Huh?
Interstellar.
Oh man, I don't even know that movie. So that must be a newer movie or something.
That's crazy. It's about dimensions, kind of what he was talking about. It's like they thought the ghost was the interdimensional being, where he's just going through like
because the bookshelf.
Yeah,
the bookshelf.
I don't watch
Isn't that the space movie?
Yeah. So pretty much the concept was that the bookshelf would fall, like a book would fall off the bookshelf or something, or like dust would fall off the bookshelf, and they thought it was a ghost, but in reality it was the girl's dad stuck in a different dimension, and like the fourth dimension just going in.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of is like, basically, is that we were coexisting in a vibration. And dimension is what we're doing. It's just like, again, if you haven't watched, this is an older movie, Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
He's going through multiple dimensions and so on and so forth. It's the same thing,
yeah.
what you're talking about, because that's what the vibration is. As I talked about, we all vibrate at a certain level. Our loved ones, so do we. So it just depends on how sensitive we are to certain vibrations or what we pay attention to.
Right.
Sure.
And then that would just go to like having bad days and the vibrations you have when you attract worst parts of your day that keep going and going. Would that be kind of like in the same thing?
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's about what we do here. So say for instance that one of you guys are having a bad day, or anyone that likes to post on social media a lot about what they eat, what they do, and say, "Oh, I hate this because my job," and blah blah blah. And then you have all these different people, watching it and liking it and giving a thumbs up to it, rather than they're supporting that energy. So they're supporting a bad energy that's being sent out to the universe. So the more people that are supporting your bad day, this and that,
you have more.
You have more of that.
So you should never. Really
I've always thought about that way.
Like I'm pretty private on my socials. I am. There's just few interviews that I talk about my family and so on and so forth, because I'm a pretty private person just in general. But there are things out there that I want to share with people about certain lessons and soul lessons that I've gone through to help other people to recognize about healing and grief and loss, and and I think a lot of people think that grief is just losing a loved one. Grief could be ending a relationship, ending a job, it could be many different things. And I think we need to understand and talk about it more often, more so than anything else, because I think people are afraid, because it's not it's not one level. It's many phases that we go through, and there's not a right way or a wrong way how to do it. But I think it's just, again, how we can accept it and say, just crap, I'm having a bad day. This sucks. Yeah. And we start moving through those emotions rather than holding them deep down within. Yeah. By chance, real quick, I don't know if it's one of you guys. I don't think it's with you. It could be with you. But who's the person that passed with like dementia or Alzheimer's? Is it with you? That passed with dementia or Alzheimer's, like something neurological. Is it here?
Well,
pass with dementia or Alzheimer's.
What do you mean?
Like Alzheimer's, like something neurological.
Are you trying to tell me I have Alzheimer's right now?
No.
If you have
on.
someone who's passed.
I had someone pass on. I don't think they died of cancer.
Okay, not with you. Then it's probably with you.
Maybe I just don't know it. Maybe it could be like.
Go to your maternal side of the family.
My mom?
Your mom's side, yeah.
I'll ask her.
Yeah, there's something with neurological, like stroke, aneurysm, that we need to bring up here. So if it's not him, you're good. It's going to be with you that we need to bring up here. And it feels like it's a male figure that we need to acknowledge.
I had a grandpa that passed away.
Was there something neurological with him? Like dementia, vegetative state?
I don't know if he even was diagnosed.
Make note to it, because if it is going to be a parallel, what we call like a bridge reading, there's going to be parallels then related to you. Is a month of February significant then to you or to him that you know of?
No, birthday November.
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to know the information. Because
Okay.
otherwise it's going to be right back over here for you.
Then.
Either the month of February being significant or the second of a month, like January 2nd, February 2nd. There's a big two, but it's also going to be associated to the male figure.
On my mom's side?
Yeah.
I'd have to ask her.
Yeah,
my grandparents died pretty early, so I don't really know about their history.
Well, and the
my grandma I do, but
Yeah, with the biggest thing with again doing this work is one, people don't know the information, or two, it's third party information, which I'm okay with that because I'm not here to make anyone believe. But look into it, because if it's something that you don't know about and you recognize it, say after the pod, you're like, oh crap, like this is actually this person. It just shows it's their way, like saying hello from heaven, kind of make a little cameo appearance. Of how they want to come through. But just make note to it, because I feel like there might be a bridge or a parallel with you and him, both male figures, that we do need technology here. Yeah. The thing with your grandfather though, he doesn't talk about anything that I would see as being like cancer related. So I'm gonna say something here might be a little private or sensitive where I'm gonna go with this, and you can cut it or edit it out.
Okay.
But here's the thing, I don't know how close you were with him, but I feel like that relating to whatever happened here, he's bringing up the state of mind as if he was fully aware of what was going on. So if he was highly medicated or highly, on some sort of morphine, I feel like that he wants to say that he was aware of you being part of it, but he's removing you at the same time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. When we bring this up here, there's a reference that he's identifying here, which I feel like I might be wrong about, and I always get what I get. But when he shows himself to me, he's showing me like the younger version of himself. So I don't know if he was more kind of like a cool grandpa, the hip grandpa, but there's more of that sense that he comes through, because I feel like that he wants to like let you know that he's still continuing to guide you in the way that you need him, because it's weird. I feel like that you have a closer connection with him more so now than what you did when he was still living, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like that in those moments that you do like think about him, or again, how we kind of like have those little moments of like signs and signals, it might be what's sorry.
His chest like,
I don't know if you want me to read it. No, I'm saying like when you said the whole about like him being aware, and that you were right, because when he was on his basically his deathbed in the hospital, he was very because he wasn't gonna make it. They were just basically, it was where you
to make him comfortable
until he passes, basically. Yeah. And so there was one day where he was still kind of aware. He would barely talk. Yeah. But then of course after that he was just asleep until he passed away.
I think this is why he was bringing up more of the neurological thing. Like he was in and out of that consciousness, like body, like what I call the soul coming and going. So there's moments with your grandfather that his soul was coming and going in that state of mind. So if there was moments that say the family was like, is he aware? Does he understand? Does he hear us? I feel like that's important for you and the family to understand that he knew what was going on. But what's so beautiful, and like I literally have goosebumps right now, I feel like in the way that you and the family released him was a beautiful way, as if we kind of like said, it's okay to go. And I feel like as much as we wanted to hold on to him, we let him go in that sense, right? Yeah. So what I do need to bring up here then, I might be wrong with this, and I feel like I am going to be wrong with this. I don't know if he's being serious or joking around, but is there some weird reference that we need to bring up here with him, as if like, say you had a completely different name for him, or you called him like a completely different name?
Yeah.
Okay, don't tell me what it is. You can say afterwards.
Okay.
He wants to come through by that weird name or that nickname.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but he wants to like tease you or tease himself about it. But I'm laughing about it because I know there's something humorous with it that he wants to come through in that way. So what is it?
So his name was Placido, but since we were younger, we would all call him Papa Placido.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills. So here's the thing. He still wants to come through as Papa Placido. Like, I feel like there's a way with him that he still wants to be the same guy. I just like his energy. I just feel like there's a very protectiveness in the way that he comes through. And I feel like it's more so around you. And I think it's more so now. And I'm going to say something here. And again, you can have them do what they need to do. This might be personal, but wherever you're at, like say in your state of mind of like moving forward, thinking about career, thinking about what you're doing. I know most people have like uncertainties of like, am I on the right path? I just want to make sure that you know that you're on the right path. So if you feel like that, am I at this fork in the road of like, do I turn left? Do I turn right? Do I move forward? I feel like you're kind of like getting out of this fork in the road type of thing. And I feel like that the beginning of summer, which is right around the corner, is going to be a big turning point for you. I don't know what it is, but let it happen organically. But it feels like it's more so relating to like career, work, more of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you shaking? I am so sorry. No. I am so sorry.
I'm not scared. I'm just more. I'm not scared at all. Don't even worry about it.
You're like in shock.
I'm in shock. Yeah. I'm in shock. Don't even worry about it. I'm not like scared or anything like that. I'm just like, Crazy.
Yeah, because
how that,
I'm not really. I'm looking at you, but
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
past you. But this is why I always look in different ways. It's what I'm seeing, what I'm interpreting. But
Uh-huh.
I'm looking past you. So when I looked at you, I was like, I just noticed your hand.
Yeah.
So, but just know it's out of love in the way that they come through. So this means then for you, then for your mom's side of the family, then you need to then I forgot what I said, February may have a parallel here to you, but also then again to your mom's side of the family, to her father, which is your grandfather, which the person you said you did not know, right? Right.
Yeah, I didn't meet him.
So just place it there. I don't want you to feel like that you need to make it fit right now, but I just
Okay.
like it might be a bridge or parallel reading that is coming through.
I think I know what the February is, but I don't know if I should tell you or not.
No, you
That's
can
why.
tell me. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm correct, February is because that's my grandpa's. It's my grandma's birthday is on February. I don't know if that's the relation
yeah,
at all.
absolutely. So grandma's still living?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So can you tell
Okay.
happy birthday from her husband? So this is your way, just give grandma a big hug. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the bridge, the parallel connection to you guys. Yeah. So I love when these moments happen because I don't want to feel forced to do reading, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it happens organically, like what I mean,
Yeah.
you guys were here and just let it kind of flow. You know what I mean? It wasn't kind of like, hey, I want to talk to this person. I need to talk to this person. They orchestrated it as much as I feel like I want to, or you guys want to.
Yeah.
They know what you guys need to hear,
Uh.
our loved ones. And I feel like that your grandfather knows what you need to hear. So in the moments of like having that special connection with him, spiritually speaking, continue it. Continue to honor him in the way that you feel like that you need to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I don't even know what to say.
You have to say, I know, like, what do you say after
Does it
that?
happen
what
a
do I
lot?
say?
Like they're just like, oh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm here in an environment with you guys. You guys knew I was coming. You guys know what I do for a living, this and that. So it wasn't like you guys weren't not expecting anything to happen. It's like you were expecting for whatever happens.
Yeah,
type of thing. You know what
yeah.
I
I
mean?
didn't have any expectations
Right.
coming into this.
Yeah,
at
because
all.
what if like you just came in and like there was probably nothing?
But-
I mean, we still had like questions for you anyway.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's not like we were expecting. It's not like we were expecting for you to be like, so read us right now.
Or like read these cards.
Who do you see from my past?
No, I think we all showed up pretty much like
Just
we
ready
knew
we
to
were just
go.
gonna let you
Right.
do you and just if
Yeah.
you saw something,
Yeah,
you saw
yeah.
something. If
Right.
you didn't, then
It's like when you go on a hike, like you're preparing for the hike, but you're not expecting
to see the bear.
to see the
Right.
bear. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
You're gonna be on
Yeah.
the
like
hike.
that.
Yeah.
But I think for those that again need to be here for you guys again are here for you guys. So the fact that you guys again were receptive, again you knew what I was doing. It's it's being ethical with the work, and I will always want to be respectful to the process here. So if it happened organically, I think that's the best thing that could have happened because it's not. I don't want to invade any of your guys' privacy, but
Yeah.
again, that's why I say take out what you need to take out, do what you got to do. But I just feel like that the messages that do need to get across to you and your family are supposed to get across to you and your family. Yeah.
Sometimes like I think about like can it happen unorganically? Because last time we had a psychic medium and I like there's not it's always them two. When is it me?
That's because you looked for it. I think it's because I want to be entertained. I want to be entertained.
No one up there like what's up? Like,
he's like, who's saying hi to me? Say hi.
Like, come on.
Say hi to me.
Like, I got a podcast. This is your time to shine. Like where y'all at?
Hey, touch it over here. He's right here, bro.
Oh no, some
Yeah.
frustrating.
No,
Nah,
it's
I'm not
weird.
playing around.
Yeah, I mean, what
No,
about
but
Johnny? With
Johnny.
the animal with the
Yeah, we had we had a psychic meet Tammy. Oh no, not Tammy. I'm sorry.
Stephanie Strange.
Stephanie Strange.
I know a Tammy though.
Tammy, she's another psychic medium.
Yeah, I know of Tammy.
We
Yeah.
had her on as well.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
same. It was just them two. And then Stephanie Strange, it was just them two. But I'm jealous or whatever, but whatever. But she had a doll, and the doll gravitated towards Cesar.
So was that her doll?
Like
that doll has a backstory. Like that doll, she was like at some like shop, and
Haunted.
apparently the doll
Yeah.
tapped her or something like that,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Okay, let's go." And it was like named
Yeah, it was
Johnny
possessed.
and
Yeah,
stuff like
it could
that.
be
just
like
by a little
what we
kid.
call possession trigger objects and stuff like that. That's why I
Yeah.
asked you, is it her doll? Because sometimes there's a purpose why people have those dolls. There was something that I filmed for ETV from some comedy skit show for I don't know if you are familiar with Grace Helbig. Grace Helbig and Ozell or no Glozell and her. So they were on this thing, and I did not know what I was doing. It was like to do haunted dolls, and every doll had they didn't tell me anything, but I read for every backstory about that doll, and they're like there's no way you would have known the backstory from it. And so it's weird because again, it's about a vibration and energy, and I think it's how we read it and how we recognize it is going to happen the same way. Even with you now, like as much as like with like him sitting here, the whole time I just felt a wall. And there was that one point that your wall dropped that I'm like, oh, that's weird. It felt different. And so I feel like that was that opportunity. So whatever you thought or stopped thinking about, allowed it to happen.
I think the whole time we're talking, I was like, I wonder if my grandpa's gonna come through.
Yep.
I think that was the one, and I just blanked out of just thinking about him. I don't know if that was the case, but
Yeah, I just felt like there was like
Yeah.
a shift of energy. That's what I said, hold on, there's something different.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it to people, but it happens. When it happens, it's supposed to happen. Yeah.
What did your family say about this? Like when it first kind of started, like for them knowing, right?
So my backstory, was to be in law enforcement, to be a firefighter. I was taking my classes, going to JC College, the whole 9 yards, and I was 19, and so I was always fascinated with this work, till my career started at 19 years old on a local radio station in LA on Coastal 103.5.
Oh, sick.
And so that's how my career started. I did not have a website. I was giving out my cell number on the radio because I did not know if anything was going to come of this. I thought it was going to be one appearance. And that one appearance turned into like 6 years being with Clear Channel, which is now iHeart. And I was on different radio stations within those buildings. And for me, again, I was still trying to follow my path because my parents, they wanted me to be, obviously have a backup plan and so on and so forth. So when they would tell people, oh, what does your son do for a living? They would say, oh, he's a consultant. And then you have the nosy people, like, a consultant for what or for who? And this and that. And it's like, oh, he's a consultant, So I joke around with people and let them know, like, hey, like, I'm more so like a grief counselor, a grief therapist, because no one wants to talk to you at a party or an event if you're at one of these things. But if you tell them you're a psychic or a medium, everyone wants to gravitate towards you. So even to this day, I tell people, like, I'm a grief counselor, therapist, because, like, it's easier to move past the psychic thing. You know what I mean? But my family, like, they weren't big believers in it because we grew up devout Catholic, my mom's side, my dad's side, and so on and so forth. So religion was ingrained. And I know there are going to be people that will have their own opinion of religion and doing this work, that is the devil's work and this and that. But I believe that if you know that it comes from light and it comes from God, that it comes from a place of love, that you're doing the right work. I don't want to say that, like, it's the work of God, but I do believe that I'm blessed to assist people and help people through their grief and through their healing process. So for me, my grandmother on my mom's side, she just said, if it comes from God, if it comes from the right place and that it comes from, the right space of doing it, she's okay with it. And she believes in it. But because, like, my grandmother was, like, devout, like, Catholic, like, if you want something to happen, ask your grandmother to pray type of thing. It was like kind of one of those things, She had the whole statues, the whole 9 yards, you name it.
Virgin Mary,
the saints and everything. So that was our upbringing on my mom's side and my dad's side. It's just religion was pretty much part of our life, and it still is with me. But I wouldn't say I go to church. The squirrel.
The squirrel is so crazy.
The squirrel. I've been waiting for it.
Okay, to be fair,
waiting for the squirrel to happen, man.
I've seen the squirrel pop up a couple times.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
This one's part of the rotation. This one's part of the rotation. We film every Wednesday around the same time.
Yeah. And there's gonna be a bear soon.
Okay, see, there you go.
I never noticed the rotation. All I noticed was a squirrel on screen.
Your intuition was there, Aaron. You were trying to put it together.
That's my yeah, right. That's my intuition test. I knew the squirrel was gonna pop up. Right.
It's like a dog.
So you don't have no one in
funny.
your family that also has this gift, and it just
Yeah, I think for my my younger sister, I think both my sisters, my older sister, my younger sister, they do have the ability. I think they're pretty much in tune. My mom's in tune, my dad's in tune, but I don't think they use the ability in the way that I use it. Basically, they use it as like having their hunches, having this gut feeling, knowing certain things. But for them, it's not like they're looking to make a connection. It's not like they're reaching for a message. It's like so when things happen, those signs appear to them, and then they will share it with me. Like, hey, this is a sign that happened, or this is when this person passed away. Because we recently had, our family had a lot of loss in the last couple months. And going through that loss, there was a lot of signs that I started receiving, even for me as being a medium and also being very skeptical about doing this work, because I'm skeptical about it because growing up doing this work, there wasn't a lot of people out there. Like I will be 40 next week. Oh. I've been doing this work for, again, over 22 years. So doing it 22 years, but also, that's professionally. Yeah. But doing it prior to that, working with tarot cards and all that stuff, there wasn't, like, you couldn't even talk about it. Like, you would have been in a psych ward. You would have been in like, into, what do you call it?
You're lucky you're born like 100 years
right?
later.
Yeah. You wouldn't have made it out.
You would have been in the 1860s saying like, hey, I see your dead grandfather.
Right, exactly.
It's like part of the witch trial.
It's part of the witch trials.
Right? I mean, it's different now because like even back then, like there was a bunch of movies and, a lot of things that did happen over time that now with the power of social media, with TikTok and Instagram, like you see all these psychics and tarot tarot card readers and this and that are out there, but there's also a lot of like false or wrong information that they're not putting out there the right way. So there's sometimes a lot of us that we have to do kind of like the cleanup or damage control and this and that to kind of like have the understanding. But I do respect everyone's opinion that are in the field. So I'm not saying that my belief or my opinions is better than yours.
Yeah.
But I believe that there's an ethical way of doing certain things.
Okay, what about, because I don't really believe these, but the tarot card readers on TikTok. When you scroll and like, if you see this,
you be watching them?
nah, I'm like, there's no way.
He's like, they're gonna pick me. That's so me. That's so me. That's so me.
That's me. Oh my God.
You are probably in your bed right now.
She's thinking about me right now. What?
Telling you the most like basic of info you could be doing. You're like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, no way. Oh, I am a male in my bed right now. Oh my God.
Yeah. So what do you think about those people? Like, it's just like, it's like an algorithm. Like, there's no way. Like,
Yeah, I think it's more algorithm than anything else because, you know, I'm going to be very honest. I'm not really big on the TikTok side of it. I used to do a lot of TikToks and do all that stuff, but then I started rebuilding my Instagram because Instagram, honestly, like a year ago, I only had like maybe like 10,000 people, but I had that account for so long, but I never really post. Within like that year, it started just building gradually from videos and educating people, this and that. And then even my TikTok kind of just happened the way it did. But for me, I just want to be like a teacher. I want to educate people. I rarely post about my readings. I rarely post about that stuff. So for me, I think it's about teaching people. But if you have like readings that are like for the collective, which a lot of them are on TikTok and Instagram and this and that, again, it's kind of like stuff that is very generic in general. And it can resonate with any person. So there's I think, I don't know who it is, a professor or something. And, you know, he brought in someone who was saying that they're an astrologer. And I can't remember where it came from. And, you know, he just gave everyone these astrology things. And I guess, what do you call them? Astrology? Like what your day's going to look like or your month.
or your horoscope?
Yeah, your horoscope. Yeah. And so he wrote one of them, but all 32 were the same. And out of the 32 students, I think 28 of them said, "Oh my God, this is so me. This is it." So again, it's what we want to believe.
Right.
So I don't want people to live their life by a horoscope. I believe in astrology. I believe in shamans and all that stuff. But same thing with me with my work. There has to be a sense of skepticism. You can't believe everything, and the reason why is that I grew up as not as someone that's a skeptic or a cynic, but someone that wants to know more. I want to know more. I want to know more about this work, and the only way I would have figured out was reading, education, and so on and so forth. And the more that I practice it, the more that I realized that I had to be more specific or evidential and this and that, and not all the times, because there are mediums that will give you the more of their personality, their energy, and this and that, and there are mediums that will give you names, dates, and all that stuff. It just really depends on spirit, the medium, but also the process, and also how receptive the sitter is. So the readings in general on TikTok, I can't say.
Stop giving them your money, Saul.
I always send them gifts on live, but I'm like, do me next.
Yeah, but I am respectful of everyone's doing on that. I am. So I'm not knocking anyone, but I just believe that everyone has their own way of working as intuitive, psychic, and in a medium.
Okay, so this one's weird. This one's on my mom. She says like when bad things are gonna happen, like they happen. Like she's like really good about that. Like to the point where like when she tells me something's gonna happen, like I get scared. I'm more worried about it. Yeah. But like she says, "Oh, this is gonna happen over there. This is gonna happen over there. Don't look. This is." But it's always bad things, never good things for the most part. That's
So,
how how Sway.
Well, two things. It's intuition, someone being sensitive, but also it could be what we call premonitions. She has a vision of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and so when it's a bad thing, it's like she already knows. Like. We were just telling my mom this, I think like 2 days ago. Is don't say it, it's gonna happen. And sure enough, my mom says it happens bad or whatever. So we always joke around, don't say anything because you're gonna jinx us.
Yeah, jinx us, yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things. So here's the thing about that. Is that individual, your mother, then setting out that energy out to the universe?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I tell her that all the time.
It's always moms too. It's always like
it is.
Latina moms always have like the negative, like bro. Negative. It's like they always like it's like they feels like they jinx everything.
Think about this, bro. Think about this. If like let's say 200 people go out to a club night, right? Yeah. And 200 moms jinx it with negative energy, that energy's gonna get there, bro. It's gonna find its way.
It's like, oh, esto va a pasar si haces esto. It's like, mom, don't give me that, dude.
But to be honest, like moms don't want us to leave. That's why.
Right.
Yeah. They don't want us to leave the house, so they're saying all the most negative things to scare you to stay in.
Yeah.
One time I told my mom, And I called her out too. I was like, Mom, like stop.
Once
Say
I-
something
so-
positive.
Yeah, say something positive. Don't
Say I'm
just
gonna
being
go find
so
my wife or
negative,
something.
dude. Yeah.
So you guys are what, in your late 20s?
Yeah.
26. Yeah, we're all 26. Pretty much.
Okay.
I turned 26
So
next week.
again, I'm going to be 40.
What,
So
what day next week?
April 23rd.
Oh, mine's the 26th.
Make sure to wish
happy birthday.
AJ happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthdays
Yeah.
in the chat.
Happy birthdays in the chat.
Yeah, so for you're also the Taurus rather than being a
An Aries.
An Aries, yeah. So, but having a mom, even Latina mom, they're strict and so on and so forth. And being 40 years old, I can travel and do this and do that. My mom's still like, make sure you get home safe, and wherever you land, text me this and that. And they want to hold on to that connection. You know what I mean? So I think it's part of like that collectiveness energy that they just have. They say women's intuition.
Yeah.
They're pretty. Women are. They're
really
pretty
do.
intuitive. Yeah.
They really do.
I think so.
Have you ever picked up when someone's cheating?
Oh my
Valid
God.
question.
that is a very
it is
valid and
valid,
honest.
but-
Yes, it is.
It's bad. You're gonna use it. It's like,
AJ, I need you to read me right now, man. I feel like she
So
is,
my
dude.
girl, right? She was out with her friends.
He shows him a picture of his girl.
He's just like right away, cheating.
She was out with her whole ass friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really like knowing, but it's more so a vibration. So there's times where I can talk to an individual not knowing their situation. So say, for instance, that I was, talking with you, Saul, over the phone, if not knowing you, and I start bringing up information, details about your relationship that you're like, oh crap, I didn't even ask about it. I want to know about it, and it's starting to come through organically. It's probably information that you need to hear. So if there's information about someone not being right for you, someone not being right in the relationship, that will come through. But I don't ever want that responsibility of saying like this person's cheating or this and that. But that stuff does come through though. Yeah, it
I
does.
can see why, because there's this thing where people say like when you sleep with someone, you're transferring each other's energy.
Yeah.
So if you're just used to one person's energy and now there's some strange energy in his body, I can see why that can be picked up.
Well, it's just like, bringing in, things into a home. You know what I mean? Like you bring people into any home. So you bring friends over, family, so on and so forth. Sometimes the energy can be stuck, heavy, collected, which is why sometimes they recommend to do like a clearing, a cleansing, and so on and so forth, which a lot of people use sage, but I recommend people to use like Palo Santo, which is basically, they call it like holy wood or just wood in general. That is, sometimes I buy it that from what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it, but where it's reclaimed wood basically. So it's not actually carving down a tree or picking down a tree. It's actually the stuff that falls on the floor.
Oh,
and
like
you
wood
use,
chips?
Yeah, and basically you repurpose that and you light in your home to clear the energy. It doesn't have that musky or nasty smell, but it's more of a calming energy. You do that to kind of clear out that old energy by opening your windows and doors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. I have a question about like sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Is that like just scientific, or is there like, cause it's always I felt like, and they're always scary. They're always scary and it's always demon like. Does that have to do anything spiritual, or is that just like part of the?
I think both, sleep paralysis, but also the term that we have, like out of body experiences or astral traveling. So when you're kind of out of the body. So if there's moments where you're kind of like, say, you're hanging out with friends and one of them's driving and you're asleep in the passenger seat or whatever, and all of a sudden you wake up and you jerk and stuff like that. When that moment happens, they say that your soul is coming right back into your body. And so I do believe that we do astral travel where we have out of body experiences, where you have like then deja vus, like say 3 months, 6 months down the road, like I've been here, I don't know why. It's part of that experience. But
wow.
Yeah, and deja vus also represent that you're on the right path. Yeah,
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I like deja vu because it means like
You
you're
call
on
it a checkpoint?
Yeah, it's a checkpoint.
Yeah,
You're
it
like
is.
you matched up to where you're going.
What I don't like is like, why do I know this though?
right.
It's like that mystery trying to solve it. Like, why do I not know
I've
where
caught
I'm
it
at?
out before. I was like, no, that's gonna pass, and then something happens, and I'm like, whoa. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
when those moments happen.
Abilities.
Right.
Crazy. We have this segment on our show called Take the Mic, and we let people know that you're coming on, and we ask them to ask us a bunch of questions and all that fun stuff. So if you're open to it, we can do it. And then also it's
All
always,
anonymous.
It's all anonymous too.
Yeah. So
So I just have to pull it up and
It's also those questions because you never get to
No, yeah, we let people know,
Like,
people
is
know
Saul
that you
getting
were
married?
coming. We let them know if they have any questions, comments, concerns of anything. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it says
This'll be
here,
interesting.
is Saul
Yeah.
gonna find love this year? Someone asked, I didn't ask this.
All right.
They're very invested in his love life.
Here, let me pull it up. Boom, boom.
I think one of the best parts too is that we were talking well, when you got here and off camera, you were saying how like sometimes when you go to like the shoots and stuff too, that you don't mind when people are skeptics, and also like you don't mind them not telling you any information because you're like, I get it. You want to make sure this is real. So like, yeah, if you don't want to tell me anything, that's cool.
Right.
And then there's been a lot of times where they don't tell you anything, and you just come in, you just start telling stuff, and they're like, we didn't give you any of this information. You're like, yeah,
Right.
I mean, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a lot of people, too. Oh, I think the battery went off.
Yeah, that's weird.
That doesn't happen.
That's actually very rare.
That
I'm not
doesn't
gonna lie to
happen.
you.
Should never happen.
Yeah.
Is it the battery died? What happened?
Ah.
Are those still recording? I can't tell the lights in my face.
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Does it affect you if you have more info, or do you like it more when it's like less info?
I'd rather not have anything. Even when I do my readings, like I don't have any information on any of my clients of this or that. Sometimes they'll, pop up on Instagram Live or TikTok Live. I'll do readings for them, which they'll just pop up and I pick people and I'll bring them up live with me and I just do readings just right there on the spot. So
That's dope.
yeah, and those are the best part because I think like again, it's not planned, it's not set up, it's just random people. They're not people that I know. It's just you have people that are watching you and you just do these reads. So when I do any reads, I think if I have information like who people want to hear from and so on and so forth, it's going to influence me, and that's where my ego comes in, and I'm going to start analyzing it. Is it actually spirit? Is it me? Because I know because that person specifically said, hey, I want to hear from this person, and that may not happen. So people always ask me, do loved ones always come through? I say, yeah, but it may not be the one you want to hear from. You know what I mean? So you may want to...
Not right now, Grandma. Shh.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. That does happen.
No, not grandma. I wanted uncle.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's 100% true.
Dang,
and I joke around, but it's the honest truth.
Wow.
Like, I have more people cry over their pets and the animals that come through rather than their own mom, dad, or brother and sister that come through. Yeah, because again, it's part of their grief, and maybe perhaps part of that grief that they went through with that specific loved one that they finally healed from it.
Yeah.
And maybe that pet that passed on, the dog, cat, or whatever it is recent to them, which is they're grieving that process, which is why they feel a certain way. But
time.
it's super cool because like I've had so many unique things happen during these reads. But again, it's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen, regardless if it's an uncle, a grandfather, a cousin. It's gonna happen the right way.
Jerry the goldfish, man.
Right?
He's swimming in my mind right now.
He still swims in my mind.
So most of these is all achievement relationship stuff.
Okay.
Have you ever been asked to consult for a movie?
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of them. The last one I did was Insidious.
What?
Yeah. I do a lot of movies.
Wild.
I done stuff for Final Destination 4, Hereafter with Matt Damon. There's been a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, yeah. I get to do a lot of movie stuff. Yeah,
That's
it's
really
fun.
cool, yeah.
No, the Insidious was Insidious. Yeah, Insidious was the last one.
Yeah,
I
Insidious.
get to it's cool because I get to meet the actors and the this and that, and it's just part of the process.
Yeah,
You know
is
what I
it
mean?
creepy though? Because like especially with those Insidious movies, it's very demonic and all these creepy. Are you there to be like, don't do this? You're gonna
More so to speak upon about the subject, about what's real, what's not, basically. So kind of like that. But obviously, everyone's gonna have their own opinion of what they want to produce and put together because Hollywood's Hollywood. You know what I mean? So, but it's super cool. Like for me, like I don't ever tell a client or a picture or a filming company what to do, but I mean, I'll give my information, my insight of like what I think and my personal view, but someone else may have a different belief and perspective of that. So, but I love anything that does with entertainment and movies and stuff that I see that I can relate to. I'll associate myself with it in some capacity. But if it's something that I'm like, this seems too cheesy or this and that, I won't do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, again, it's like picking the right ones that fit you and your brand.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we'll do some take the mic. That's pretty wild. Now, I've always wondered that because I was like,
That's a good one.
crazy.
Insidious. That's a. So you consulted for that one?
More of a lecturer to be there for their premiere, their movie, their screening and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we'll get into take the mic. For you guys that don't know what take the mic is, it's an anonymous form where you can ask your questions, advice, and all that fun stuff. Link in the bio. All right, let's see. Hey, been watching every episode since your collab with the Clown Boys last year.
Hey.
Obviously, love all three podcasts, but I'm hoping to get some piece or advice. I'm a 24-year-old Latina and finally realizing I might be in love with my friend.
Oh.
He's 23 and we went to high school together. I thought of him as a friend. We were very close in high school. He came over almost every weekend and my family loves him. I'm bisexual, and during that time, I was figuring it out. He used to make me feel like it was okay to be who I am, even when my family didn't accept it. Senior year, he got a girlfriend and she was really sweet. I didn't see him any differently because I was dating a girl at the time. We stayed close, but with college and him working, we distanced a little bit, but we still check up on each other. The last time we hung out, I just got out of a relationship and he's with a new girl and still is. He picked me up and we got something to eat. He ended up talking and we started discussing about things that could have happened, between us, but one thing led to another and he kissed me. Oh. He caught me off guard, but I didn't stop it, but he quickly backed away. I could tell he regretted what he had done, but I honestly was confused because I liked it. People always told me he probably had a crush on me, but to be honest, I never believed him. But ever since then, he hasn't talked to me. It's been 4 months. I understand why I never want to be that person, but I am starting to realize that I might have really deep feelings for him. Am I wrong for feeling this way? I don't want to mess up what he has, so I plan on not talking to him. I want to respect his relationship and the decision to not talk to me anymore. Anyways, thank you for the episode. You guys make my day so much better. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Sad predicament, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's kind of like, it's tough.
yeah, it's like
It's
almost
tough.
like the one
So
that got away.
she's the homie or he's the homie?
they were
No,
homies.
it's kind of
They're
like
home.
the
Yeah.
seems like the one that got away kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
situation. I don't know.
But there's a thing, just because you're attracted to each other doesn't mean you're meant for each other. So
Yeah,
I don't think
that
if
too.
it lined up, it wasn't meant for you guys.
Right. This becomes more of that crossing that line of that friendship. Like he realized like, oh crap, like this is what I did. And there could be a sense of embarrassment of like, I really don't want to ruin that. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, they saying the one that got away,
The one
Could
that-
be.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to fumble a
Yeah,
bag.
or maybe right now is not the right time.
Right.
It's the best friend that got away. Oh,
Maybe it'll align sooner or later, naturally.
maybe it
Naturally.
will never.
Yeah.
Maybe never.
No, yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I think she was asking if it's. No, I don't think it's wrong because I mean,
I don't
it
think
was
it's
someone
wrong.
that was there for you and made you feel accepted when you didn't know if it was the right thing to be bisexual. But he was there for you, even though like your loved ones
crazy.
kind of weren't in that situation. So I don't think it's something that you didn't realize back then, but it's something that you just came years after where you're like, holy crap! Like actually, he was someone that like I have feelings for, even though back then I didn't notice it.
Right.
It happens. I think that happens with people all the time.
And plus, it wasn't something that was forced. It was something that just
Naturally,
happened.
yeah.
And she didn't stop it either. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I want it. So it could be, again, we talk about manifestation, the universe. It could have been something that she obviously been
She
saying out,
attracted it hard,
right?
and then it was like,
and when it
okay, not a good
happened,
idea.
it's kind of like then that guard went up and he shut down. He said, okay, maybe this is not
Yeah.
right.
yeah,
So
that's
I think-
true. At least you guys,
Yeah.
at least you found out. So there's that. God isn't there.
So
Like,
yeah, I
you
don't
feel
think. I think you're doing the right thing by like not like
Pursuing?
forcing it or trying to talk to him because it's great that you're like you're respecting his relationship and just keep like that until maybe he they break up. Maybe you'll see what happens then.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree.
Next one. Hey guys, hope you are doing well. I'm 27 and still living at home with my parents. How do I stop comparing my life to everyone else's? Most of the cousins' family I grew up with are now either married or have kids. Don't get me wrong, I really love my job and the career field I'm in, but sometimes I just can't stop thinking I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm single, getting my money, and happy. But as a girl, you do sometimes worry about being an old-ass mom, haha. I definitely don't want kids now, but I do get worried that I'll never get there. Am I in my head? Should I just chill? Anyway, love you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
She should just chill.
just chill, be happy.
Yeah.
Enjoy your life.
27, you're chilling. 27 is the new.
You can get pregnant
like-
quickly if you really like think about it. So
I think
don't stress
there's a
about that.
bad stigma now. People thinking that if you're in your 30s and you have kids, then it's like kind of a bad thing. When back then it was very totally normal being in your 30s and start having kids.
Yeah.
I guess now it's more normal to have kids in your 20s, which is totally fine too. But don't have the stigma of like, oh, I'm 30 and I don't have kids yet. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, don't force a kid out of nowhere. Just let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're
she's still young. I mean,
Yeah.
27. I mean, I got married when I was 30 years old. So for me, it was kind of a point that, that was 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years ago in August. But I've known my wife. We've been together for 18 years.
Nice.
Wow.
So again, like
Very nice.
it's different, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like not common, in these situations. But I wouldn't want her to rush to have a kid and settle down, this and that. She's gonna know, and she's gonna find, Mr. Right person, Mr. Right now when that time happens. But forget about everyone's ego, the family of like, you got to get married, you got to have this job, you got to have that. Like,
Yeah.
if I settled down the way my parents wanted me to do, I probably wouldn't be doing the work that I'm doing today of helping and being of service to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a plan for you.
Yeah.
And it's just
Plan.
it's not there yet. 'Cause,
Right.
I mean, I say the same thing. 30s are like you're chilling. Like 40s are the new 30s. Everything's like
10 years to
Yeah,
like
10
it's like 10,
years.
15 years further
you're
away.
chilling.
Yeah.
Especially with the economy now, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
shoot.
chilling.
That's the only thing you gotta work for.
I'm not gonna
But,
leave
like-
my parents' house though. I'm a millionaire.
So you could just buy a house right next door.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm moving out, mom.
Right. Next door.
Next door, though.
Alright. Hey guys, so I've been with my boyfriend for almost 5 years. We started dating in college, and I've always talked about marriage after getting settled in our careers. Recently, I have been into looking at wedding shit and thinking of ring styles I like and how I want to be proposed to, you know? Like where, how, who all will be there, all that stuff. I share some details of my likes to him, and he will just be like, everything is going to be a surprise. You can't plan out your own proposal. It's on the guy to get it all together, which I understand, but I feel like a girl should have a say in how she would like to be proposed to. I know it's the guy you decide when he's ready and how he wants to do it, but don't you think he should go off what she thinks? Like, what if the girl hates nature but loves the beach and hints at wanting a beach proposal, but he chooses to do it like in like a garden? He says, let me surprise you with my proposal, then you can decide everything for the wedding, because the wedding is when the girl shines. But I think it's the opposite. Shouldn't it be the girl has her moment at the proposal, and then the wedding is where the spotlight is on both and they plan everything together? What's y'all's take on this?
I think
no.
no, it's because you're ruining your own surprise. Because
Yeah.
usually I think that's the
Marry
purpose of a
yourself.
proposal is like it is always technically a surprise. So if you hint at him like, oh, I kind of want it at the beach. Anytime you guys go to the beach, you're just gonna be expecting
it.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't ruin your own, like, don't be expecting. Because what if you just like, well, we're just going on a beach day.
Yeah.
So every time you go on the beach,
And
you're
you're
gonna be
gonna be
like,
disappointed
you're gonna be
every
like,
single time.
you're gonna be like, what the fuck? You didn't
Yeah.
propose? It's
And-
kind of like,
yeah.
don't have that.
And maybe,
I like the
maybe
beach.
the guy already thought about the proposal being at the beach, but now she like
And now
gave
you
him that
ruined it.
scent, and
He's
he's trying to
like,
throw her
oh my
off.
God.
He's like, God damn it!
Yeah.
No more
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah, no more beach.
You know, I like that perspective too of what your man thinks, that it's the guy's moment is the proposal, because let's be real, the wedding is mostly for the girl. Like that's her dream fantasy. Like she wants this.
I have
this,
a
and
book
that.
for mine actually.
For
No,
your
I'm just- for like 10
I can see
No,
that.
the wedding is supposed to be for both. I still think it is for both bride and
Right.
groom, but
you know,
most of the
gonna
spotlight,
lean-
it's gonna lean more towards the bride, which respectfully so.
Yeah,
That's the way
yeah.
it should be. She is the queen of the night. Let her be the queen of the night.
And
Yeah.
like the proposal part, like trust your man to be romantic.
Yeah.
That's like his moment to shine. Like he's gonna do it. Just trust him.
through.
He's gonna
Yeah.
pull through.
And plus, too, for her, like, she's been in this relationship, her boyfriend, for 5 years. I was with my girlfriend for 7 years until I proposed.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because I had a plan for myself of what I want to do. I wanted to make sure I was financially secured. I want to make sure everything was fine, like the setup. So maybe, he's preparing for a bigger purpose rather than just
There's a
what she
plan.
wants. Yeah, there's a plan.
There's a plan.
She opens up her Big Mac. There's a ring in there.
Right?
You don't want the Big Mac with the ring on it. You want to make sure you're at like a fancy restaurant. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
We'll finish with this one. Hey,
right.
Aaron. Last episode, you mentioned that you got your car broken into.
Yeah.
It sucks. I got my car broken into too, but they broke my window to get in. They didn't take anything just because my neighbor saw them and took out his gun and shot at them. He said it was 4 of them and ran away, but it sucks because they broke my window. I had to pay out of pocket because my insurance didn't cover it because it's considered vandalism, not theft, which is so stupid. And I hate people who mess with people's stuff. Like, why can't you just leave things alone? Now I have to pay out of pocket because some bums want to mess with people's stuff. But anyways, just a little rant. Love y'all.
Hope you fixed your window.
I hope your window
Yeah,
wasn't that expensive. I hope your window wasn't that expensive.
I like how like our listeners are from like other parts other than California, so you hear like he shot at them, you're like, oh fuck,
Right?
But I was like, oh
What
no,
well, shout out to the neighbor though. I had your bag,
wow,
dude.
wow, west over there, bro.
Yeah, he
Louisiana,
had his
bam.
bag. I was like, I want that type of neighbor.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
dope.
But that wraps up Take the Mic. Thank you guys for submitting your stuff. I'll always submit more stuff in the link in the bio. So, going back to the episode, this is my favorite. This is my favorite topic. I love all of this. So still no signs, no like
So I was
nothing.
waiting for like, has anyone
Anybody-
even like peeked through the door? Maybe.
You want to change seats? Maybe that helps. Maybe.
So I was like, has anyone peeked through the wall?
Peeked
Maybe
through the
like,
wall or
hey, anything?
Hey, last time he sat over there, this time here.
And I'm
wanna
gonna just start
switch
getting
sides,
closer.
or-
I'm gonna just start getting closer to the guests from now on. To be honest,
You want to switch real quick? See if anything that works.
nah, it's cool. I'm gonna get scared.
No, it's interesting that you say that because like there's a radio show that I do quite often, and they have me in there to do readings for people on air and take the phone calls.
Yeah.
And one of the co-hosts, I know his dad's passed on, and he told me like this and that. But every time he sees me, he goes, "Anything from my dad?" I go like. I go, "What?" And he gets mad. He goes, "My dad's not even in my life, even in the afterlife."
Yeah, like he's having the best time of his life right now. He's been waiting for this.
Oh my!
Actually, one question I did have, I don't know, this is a little silly, but I thought about it. When I pass away, I want to know answers, right? I want to know who built the pyramids. I want to know.
Oh, that's something we've talked about.
What happened to the Mayans?
Imagine our theory is when you pass away, you just get the answers
get
to
the
like
answers.
everything of like the entire world of like how it's like. Do you get all the answers to anything? Like how anything's mystery basically, and anything is up for discussion.
Yeah.
You just have the for sure answers when you pass away.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be again more of our perception of what we believe and what we do. Like even for me, like I hope I know everything that I know today, and I hope it's better and bigger than when I transition to the afterlife. Like I hope it's better than what it is because I always joke around, tell people it's gonna be like, oh, pick a cloud, any cloud, but I still feel like I'm still gonna be working, evolving, and doing things that I need to do, which you all will. But to know the answers to those things would be amazing.
That'd be
Seriously,
amazing, right?
Seriously, like I'm fascinated with all that stuff.
Yeah, but let's say, for example, I would like to say, like, if my dad passes away, he would, like, if I ask him, like, hey, so like, who did the pyramids? Do you think he'll be able to know the answer and he'll tell me?
But if it's like a
Probably not.
rule, you
Yeah.
can't say it.
Yeah, you think it's like a universal rule where it's just like, yo, no secrets.
Yeah, no secrets allowed.
What happens in Heaven Club stays in Heaven Club.
Right.
Heaven Club.
Yeah.
What happens?
Club
The gate
heaven.
stays in the gates. All right.
Yeah.
Nothing leaves the gates.
You should look into people that actually channel like higher beings.
Like
What do you mean?
They allow like an entity to sit in and they channel, and then you can ask questions about the world, society, the pyramids, and then how things. And it's pretty highly evolved information that comes through.
How do we get in contact with people?
There's a guy that I know. I gotta ask my wife, but she watches a lot of his videos. And if you guys can somehow have him on, like
I don't know.
I don't know how he does it, but he literally sits in a chair. He goes in trance. He actually does these conventions, these centers, and I mean the way, like I get goosebumps
Sounds
every
like
time I
an
watch it.
exorcism.
No, it's not. No, it's not scary. It's
Scary.
nothing scary. It's
I'm
amazing
interested.
because I see even like kids with their parents, and they will ask questions to him, and he comes back with this magical, beautiful answer of like doesn't even sound like him, doesn't even sound like words he would use, and like very highly evolved spirit entity.
Whoa.
Entity. When I say entity again, nothing bad, but something highly evolved. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
I'd like to see that from a distance.
From a distance.
Yeah, I wouldn't know
Why not
what
up
happened
close?
here.
Right.
The exclusive up close.
Nah, because then I feel that would be the time when they'll find a reading of me. That's when they'll come in. He's
what
like
did
this,
Saul
he's
do October
like this,
15th,
he's like-
2022?
No, it's like you're just chilling. He's like, and like does not even blink. I'm like,
He goes down a rap sheet of everything he's done every night. Yeah, I've been watching you.
Oh shit.
I know what you do at night.
So the library, he's like, so the library.
You seem to be fascinated with books. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? But you haven't dealt with like any exorcism or been any like stuff like that. Can you be a resource for exorcism? Like if something's like that?
I don't think I would even know where to start on that subject. You know what I mean? Because it's something that I don't even want to be involved with or be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to like blend my energy with that. You know, but there are times that we've had poltergeist activity in our place of living. So my wife and I, we moved, I think 2 locations. So when we talk about poltergeists, not the ones that you see on like,
On Insidious.
you know, like, on that or so on and so forth. Poltergeist activity, sometimes you'll hear knocking on your walls. When you hear 3 knocks, most of the time it's poltergeist. You can have different ways of things moving in your home or things being shifted in your house. So 2 places that we were renting, one was in Long Beach, beautiful place on the water. and there was always an entity standing in our kitchen. So for years, I used to see it all the time, and I never told my wife because we had a shot from our bedroom into the kitchen. So finally, we switched the room around, this and that. I think the first couple of nights, she tells me, she goes like, "Hey, do you see someone standing there?" I go, "Thank God, not just me." Years. You too, thank you. But it never bugged us, and so we felt like we're gonna respect the place, respect the energy, and people thought like I'm freaking crazy for just saying like, "Thank God." That's the feeling I have.
Walking by, you're like, "All right, what's up, Jim?"
Right.
Finally.
It's way better though, because then you'll think like at least no one's trying to like it's not a real person.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never told her anything about it either. So it wasn't anything that she was being influenced by me or anything else. So the other place in Anaheim that we lived was a condo. And my friend was downstairs. My wife, we were all downstairs. I was moving my car and this and that. And so the garage door that goes into our stairwell and whatever got locked. And so we had to go around to the front door and this and that. And that was locked. So we were all locked out. Then the back door opened up. The garage door was open. Go upstairs, and all the cabinets in our kitchen were all open.
Oh shit!
Nah.
That is a poltergeist.
Yeah,
That is a poltergeist.
not that
Wow.
one.
That.
So you
that,
locked
He was just trying to play a
opened up-
prank.
No. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's not. Oh, I was
So
like,
it's not a
lock
prank.
the
That's like,
doors.
get
Like,
out of here. That's like they're telling
Yeah.
you to get out.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
kind of
wow.
like, and ever since that happened, we had nothing but just, everything in that place was just not right. So I think we only lived there we didn't live there that long. It was
a cleanse couldn't help at all either, or anything like that. No,
No,
dang.
Yeah. So you need to do other means to kind of get that, like a priest or a shaman and so on and so forth. And sometimes that doesn't even work. So when that doesn't work, then it's kind of like,
Does it anger it more if it
get out
doesn't
of it.
work?
kind of, it's kind of like what do you call them? Poking the hornet's nest type of thing.
I ain't afraid of no ghost, Keisha.
Right.
I don't like scary movies. I only watch the parodies. So yeah.
So your opinion on Ouija boards, are those because I mean they sell them at Target and they sell them at Walmart. Is it just kind of like just like something for fun, or is it can be
It's
used?
a tool. It's a tool. So I have a custom made Ouija board that my mother-in-law bought me years ago, and it's massive. It's numbered and dated and all that stuff. It's just a tool, just as a medium, just as someone that does the cleansing, they use an egg and water and this and that. It's a tool.
Yeah.
How they do their cleansing. A Ouija board is a part of that tool. It's part of that process.
Gotcha.
If you know how to work with it, you open and close it, know how to protect it, protect yourself. It's the same thing. I think we're so influenced by movies, religion, fear of the unknown, all that stuff. And so we have that stigma or the association that, oh, this is bad, where it's going to be haunting us and this and that. It's not the case, because I've worked with Ouija boards many times and never had any bad experiences.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you done group seances?
Yeah, I've done group seances.
And do those get like are they?
They're pretty amazing, intense.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard like it's like, but it's like the rattling stuff, or no? Is it?
Yeah, we so they call it table tipping.
Yeah.
Where the table will actually start rocking and moving around.
That's
and
crazy.
What we do, like over time, start building that energy. It could be with the same group or just a seance. It just really depends. When you're working with the same group, like say for, I don't know, a month, 6 months, whatever, you're building that same collective energy. So when you start wanting to build that vibration of table tipping, you can start moving the table without even just using your hands, like just with everyone having a finger on the table. And then that gradually when everyone starts moving their finger off the table and it's still rocking, it's not being influenced by anyone else.
Wow. Is that like when they do the what is it, light as a feather, stiff as a board?
Kind of, yeah. And that's considered like what people consider that obviously witchcraft and so on and so forth. If you believe in something so much, you give it that power, you're going to give it that power to work. So I'm not looking to open up again any doors of negativity and so on and so forth. I know anytime I work with any type of Ouija board, spirit, guides, paranormal, I know that I'm going to be protected. I protect myself with white light, prayer, and healing. So long as I do that and you guys do that, or if you guys do investigations and so on and so forth, you're not going to attract that energy. Yeah.
Dang. That's why I like to stay away from all that. Like I'm super interested, but from a distance.
I feel like you would have gotten scared if someone connected with you today.
Yeah.
No one's connected yet?
No. hey, bro. 6 months later. 6 months later. Hey, bro. Just checking up. Any dreams?
Where he's saying bye. He's like last time. He's like anything.
He gives him like a little bit of a tighter hug. Couple seconds. Like you sure? You sure?
Positive. All right, man.
For sure. It's because I'm a Capricorn. I'm very closed, you know.
I'm a Capricorn too. How does that make sense?
You're the same thing.
We're different moons. Yeah.
So the eclipse just happened. So what changed with that? What was up with that?
I don't follow astrology.
You're not
I believe in it, but I don't follow it in that sense. But I've noticed there has been a shift of energy just even before, during, and afterwards. So I believe it's part of, again, the collective, the unity, everyone trying to send that energy and make that shift. But what can I tell you about it? I can't really tell you anything really astrology. I can't even say it.
Astrological.
Right. I can't really be in that point of to tell you that, because that's not my forte.
Right.
That's not my main thing, and I don't want to like say something that I don't know. Honestly.
No, yeah, I like the collective thing. Like everyone wanted to like shift to like a better situation than we all were before, and then like I feel like it happened. I called them like maybe like 2 days ago. I was like, dude, this change just happened. Like this and that. So I feel like we're all just trying to move forward from it.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing, because we're part of this society, this world where it's kind of just this roller coaster of like negativity, hate, and there's so much out there, and all the collectives, intuitives, and so on and so forth cannot change it. But I think it's all of us making that change, making that unity to build that vibration, to raise that vibration.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know, there's been way more negativity than usual. And I'm just trying to like get through it. But I connected it with the solar eclipse. I was like, this solar, because I mean, there's just more like, not to like be funny, but like there's like the diss tracks that are going on. Like when would like that, like now out of all of a sudden that's going on, and then just internal, like there's just so many battles that I'm just noticing right now. Yeah, it's like that's entertainment, but I've noticed that, and there's battles I'm dealing over here, battles I'm dealing over here, battles I'm dealing inside. It's just so many battles. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So
that could be part of your own reflection.
Yeah,
that you're recognizing. You know what I mean? So it's weird because like nothing like mediumship wise, but even when you're talking, like the thing that I see with you is not even like, I know you said like you read a lot and so on and so forth and this and that, but what I'm seeing is kind of like, those books where people have like a safe inside, they'll stuff money and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you're doing right now. You're kind of like peeling the onion and opening up that book and recognizing kind of like your own truth, and you're kind of in this process saying like, oh, same language, but oh shit, I did not know this is here. I did not know this is what's happening in my life. And I think there's going to be more of the self-reflection even coming up in the upcoming months for you. Yeah. That you're going to see yourself in a different view of like, oh, this is where I need to be. Because I think for you, you already know where you're going, but it's kind of like, am I secured yet? Yeah. Am I secured in the path? And I think there's so many things on the horizon for you that I think for you, you know it, but you can't grasp onto them. You can't make them tangible.
Pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there. Yeah, but you go around the country traveling. If you want to let people know like any upcoming dates you have for that people ever want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be in Ontario, California in May 3rd. I think that event's almost sold out. A couple tickets left. Cool. Then I'll be at Covina Laugh Factory on Thursday, May 9th. Then I will be in Anaheim, I believe, in June. Anaheim, California, and then we'll Sacramento, I think, in July. But everything can be found on my website at ajbarrera.com. Yeah.
Actually, I want to bring up that the laugh comedy one, because you're doing it with a comedian who's also does readings, or he's like a ghost hunter comedian.
Yeah. So Momo Rodriguez, he's actually on Lopez versus Lopez. He's one of the actors on there. We've been friends for like 20 something years, and we done ghost hunts together and so on and so forth. So the way it happened was something that was just more fun and organic. So he goes, hey, come down to the Bray Improv. And I think it was the Bray Improv. This is like one of our first shows. And we sold out. Like, I was like, oh crap, there's something to this. Yeah. So I was nervous because I did not know how people were going to like perceive comedy and mediumship and readings. And, we joke around, we call the show Smile Now, Cry Later, because he makes them laugh, I make them cry. You know what I mean? So it's kind of but it just works out beautifully, because like he'll joke around. I mean, he has a skit, his set and so on and so forth. He'll talk about the stuff that I do, and then basically I come on stage and I just start reading for the audience. But it works out. And a lot of people that never witness my work or don't know how it's going to happen, when they see the show, how it happens, they're like, oh my God, it works.
Yeah.
Because when I'm up on stage, I don't call myself a comic at all. I think spirit's more the funny individuals, energies than I am.
Yeah.
But stuff that comes out of my mouth, I'm like, where the hell did that come from? You know what I mean? But it's funny and it works.
cool.
And my shows are more uplifting, humorous rather than sadness. And no one wants to go for a show for an hour and a half, 2 hours and cry and hear about
Yeah.
sad things. It's like positivity, healing, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
But yeah, Mo Rodriguez, that's going to be Thursday, May 9th at the
Excited.
Covina Laugh Factory. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So guys, definitely check it out. Link in the bio. You said ajbarrera.com.
Correct. Yeah.
It's in there, so go click, check him out. It's truly, if you see his work in person, it's breathtaking. Like you will leave, they'll tell you when I saw you do that.
Yeah.
reading, I was like, I told everyone I saw for the next week, I was telling them. I was like, it was insane.
We got a little snippet of it. I was actually kind of like,
I showed him. I was like recording. Like, check this out.
no, I mean like right now.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, that me too. Also, I had the episode before it went live, but I was like, let's check it out.
No, yeah.
But it's just it's an interesting world, and we're glad that you're here to share the space, share your knowledge.
you, guys.
Appreciate your time. It was
Thank
so
you,
fun.
man. Thank you, guys.
No,
you.
thank you
Thank you
for
for having
coming
me.
on.
It means a lot. It means a lot.
Want to let people know where they can find you on your social medias?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram, AJ_Barrera, and then TikTok, AJ_Barrera.
Awesome.
Be careful of all the fake and scam accounts out there. Because I have a lot of fake scam accounts
I
out there.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you follow me, you get a fake account that will follow you, message you.
Like,
they'll ask
follow
for
him and
money.
get 10 followers for free.
Yeah. Just be aware. Be aware.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Be
Well,
aware.
thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on every social media platform as Saul V Gomez.
Follow me at I Know Cesar.
Airbear_IE.
And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.